Slow burn is the obesity phenotype number 4, and this may be the hardest one to treat. Let's talk about it. My name is Dr. Lindsay Ogle, and I'm a board-certified family medicine and obesity medicine physician, and I see patients with the disease of obesity all throughout the state of Missouri via my telehealth, Missouri Metabolic Health. Through this clinic, I address the underlying pathophysiology of my patients. I help create a tailored, individualized treatment plan for each person. And part of that is understanding why somebody is struggling with their excess weight. Previously in my videos, I talked about the first 3 obesity phenotypes. A phenotype is essentially a category of a condition and why it's coming about and how it's presenting itself. So there could be 10 people with the disease of obesity, but each person has unique factors at play. And it is important to identify those factors, make adjustments, and that will lead to more effective and lasting results. This is why not everybody loses weight on Wegovy or Zepbound or Ozempic or Mounjaro. This is why we need multiple treatment options available. Those first 3 obesity phenotypes that I talked about were hungry gut, hungry brain, and emotional hunger. Today, the 4th obesity phenotype that we're talking about is slow burn. And this one can be the most frustrating. What slow burn is when somebody's metabolism is slower than what we would expect. The reason this one can be so frustrating is because we do not have a medical treatment at this time for slow burn. But there are some lifestyle interventions that we can implement to have a real positive effect here. First, let's go over the reasons why somebody's metabolism may be slower than expected. There definitely can be genetic causes here at play. Could be something that's been going on throughout somebody's entire life. This is less common though. Mostly what it's coming down to are a couple of things. One, if somebody has had severe caloric restriction in the past, the most common example is the show The Biggest Loser, where participants were on severe caloric restrictive diets down to 800 calories per day or less, and they were exercising quite a bit. It was very effective in the short term for weight loss, but long term, most of these patients regained their weight, and when tested for, their metabolism was much lower than what we would expect it. And this makes it very hard to maintain weight once it's lost because you are not able to eat very much food at all to maintain that weight loss. Another reason this happens is just with aging. Our metabolism does go down with age. And the third reason, and one of the more common reasons, is decreased muscle mass. Muscle burns calories. And so this is exciting news, truly. If you're able to build up muscle, then your resting metabolic rate, or how many calories are being burned when you're doing nothing, when you're just sitting and reading a book or watching Netflix, you can burn more calories if you have more muscle on your body. This is why so many people are proponents of strength training and adequate protein intake. It's not just because they're meatheads, it's because it has a real impact on your metabolic health. We don't have control over what we did in the past. We can't go back in time and change the fact, if we were on a severe caloric restrictive diet. We can't change our genetics, what we've been born into. And we can't change the fact that we are getting older. That's going to happen no matter what. But we do have some control over our muscle mass. And the things that we can do to help improve that are resistance training. And this does not have to be a CrossFit, an hour for 5 days a week. This can be as little as 10 minutes 3 times a week or 20 minutes 2 times a week. You can start at a small amount, even just 30 seconds of body weight squats, and you can slowly build your way up. That's the safest way to do it, and it's the best chance that you're going to maintain this long term. Because again, we're looking at your health throughout your entire life. That is what is most important. I recommend for my patients 3 programs. One is the Peloton app. This is what I use personally. I don't have a bike, but I really love the home.
Okay, if this looks different, it's because it is. I was having some issues with the other way I was recording. So I'm just gonna roll with the punches. I've been having a lot of issues with recording these YouTube videos lately, which is not fun. But I think it's important information to get out there, so I'm going to persevere and hopefully figure out a better way to do this in the future. But what I was saying was, I really love the Peloton app. I have been enjoying it. I like the fact that you can say, I have 10 minutes to work on my upper body, or I have 20 minutes, I want to focus on lower body, and you can do, body weight, you can do whatever you want. There is so many features there, so you can really tailor it to what you're looking for. I love that. I also love the yoga classes and the stretching. Oh, I really like that. I've been wanting to explore the meditation. Not affiliated with them at all. I just really like what they have. Two other apps or programs that I really recommend for my patients were created by two other obesity physicians. The first is GLP Strong. This is by one of my mentors, Dr. Francavilla Brown, and she has a program that you can do at home, and I believe it's 2 times a week for 20 minutes, and it's a monthly payment for that subscription. And then Dr. Ali Novinsky, she has another program. Hers, I believe, is a year-long membership. It's called the Fit Collective, and she has exercises, and I think hers are 10 minutes 3 times a week. She has 3 different levels, like beginner, intermediate, and more advanced. And so you can, start where you are and progress, to those higher levels over time, which is super exciting. So resistance training is so important, but also you need to eat protein to build muscle. So it is so important to make sure you're getting enough protein, especially when you're on a GLP-1 medication and you are in the process of fat loss. And this goes totally against diet culture, right? Like in diet culture, we're always thinking about restriction. And in health promotion, we're thinking about adding things that are beneficial to our bodies. And adequate protein is doing that. We can't build muscle if we don't have the calories and the protein to do it. And so eating protein around the time of exercising, and I think a lot of people have different opinions about exact timing and things like that. I don't want to get into the weeds in that. I think just making sure you have enough protein in your day is the most important thing, the biggest bang for your buck. You want about 1 gram of protein per kilogram that you weigh. And that can also get into the weeds a little bit, whether it's where you currently weigh or what your goal weight is. But on average, the recommendation is about 100 grams a day. You can do those different calculations, but if you shoot for about 100, some people may need less, some people may need more. Work with your doctor. Consider working with a dietitian. You can, determine what was best for you, but shooting around 100 is a good place to just start. And then the other thing is just frequent movement. This does not have to be dedicated exercise. There is something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is like the movements that I'm doing with my arm right now, the fact that I'm standing up. This is burning more calories than if I was just sitting still, watching Netflix or reading a book. These little movements over time, pacing back and forth when you're on the phone, tidying up the house, they burn calories throughout the day. And so if you're doing more of that, step count is another common thing. Some people monitor how many steps they're getting in a day. That is going to help burn more calories and help fight against slow burn. So again, the 4th obesity phenotype is slow burn. This is when your resting metabolic rate, how many calories your body is burning when at rest, is lower than expected. This happens because of baseline genetics, aging, decreased muscle mass, and history of restrictive dieting. To combat it, we want to build up our muscle stores. We do that by resistance training and getting adequate protein. and movement throughout the day, non-exercise activity, thermogenesis, or NEAT. So again, you can have a combination of obesity phenotypes, and you want to treat each layer of your phenotype so you can have the best results, long-lasting results. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, put them below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with somebody who you think would benefit from this information. And if you live in Missouri, I would be happy to see you at MissouriMetabolichealth.com. And I hope to see you all next week. I am going to be sharing an interview that I have with a rheumatologist, and she's going to talk about the impact of inflammation and GLP-1 and metabolic health. So I'm super excited to share that with you.